Welcome to the video. This is filmed yesterday here in South Australia, Tour Down Under. Now I put this bit of footage on my main channel, Durianriders, and people ask me, hang on, Durianrider, what's going on? Like, what are the pros doing? Why do pros ride so easy? Why do pros train so casual? What's the deal? The team mechanic is out on this ride. The guy in the black kits from Savannah, a super friendly guy, and I have someone at the back here, and they're going pretty easy. I'm riding basically no hands. This is quite easy for me. What's the deal, Durianrider? You're a 42-year-old guy. You're riding a $650 bike you bought from Facebook Marketplace. It's your girlfriend's bike. It's a shopping bike. It's a commuter bike. You're riding with pro tour riders on a commuter bike in the hills, and you're keeping up. Why are they sick? Are they ill? What are they doing? Low carb? What's going on? How can you keep up with pro riders up the hills in the training? Well, here's the thing: is that pro cyclists, when I say pro, I mean like world tour, right? World tour rider. You're actually getting, you're buying houses with your money. You're buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Porsches and Audis, etc. You're not buying Ford Festivas and shit. Like, basically, you're making bank. You're a pro, and pro riders don't train hard. They basically ride very casually. Yeah, I'll take that back. They don't train hard. There's train specific. So to be a pro cyclist, you have to be able to push out, some really, really serious watts. You have to be able to go downhill with no fear of crashing into a barrier at 100k an hour. You have to be very, very skinny and stay that way pretty much all year long. You have to be eating a lot of carbohydrate and doing a lot of the things that professional cyclists and runners do. Now, another thing as well is you have to learn how to hold back. What I noticed is riding with the pros is easier. It's easier to ride with the pros for me than it is to ride with wannabe pros, wannabe pros, sponsored by Team Mum and Dad, and that's totally fine if that's what people are. I'm just saying that, the amateur riders that I've ridden with ride a lot harder than World Tour riders do, and that's because World Tour riders, they learn how to be able to ride very, very easy, because you can't be a good team player if you're the guy who just keeps pushing watts all the time. Well, let's say you've got to wait for your team leader behind you, and you're the guy who just doesn't know how to slow down. He just keeps pushing keep doing 300 watts, keep doing 300 watts. You got to drop back to 100 watts. You've got to be able to ride at 50 watts and wait for your team leader to catch up to you, And the flip side of that, you've got to be able to do like 700 watts, 800 watts, 1,000 watts to accelerate across to the gap, to bridge the gap. So you've got to be able to go full gas, but you also have to learn how to go really easy. So pros, what I've noticed over the years of training with professional riders since 2003, 99, 200, just a long, long time, thousands of pro riders over the years, is that they just know how to ride real easy. And Lance Armstrong, I rode with Lance Armstrong a few times, and that was really, really, really easy in the hills. They were just dawdling along, because Lance is like, I'm not going hard, man. I'm going easy today. So it's incredible. And then there's times where I've been dropped by a few riders, and there's not many riders, who what's the word I'm looking for, who can really drop me hard. There's not many. They're out there, but when I mean drop hard, I mean like mutant watts. There's not many out there doing that. Maybe Cookie Man would be the exception. So I'm just saying that they go very casual, and only a few pros here and there will do like a full-on mutant effort up a climb at 6-7 watts per kilo. Otherwise, it's 300, 350. You don't really see 400 watts in training in pros, from what I've seen over the last 16, 17 years. I've been doing this sort of semi-official, unofficial tour guide stuff, just bearing witness at the back of the peloton or at the front of the training bunch, and just seeing what people do. So you have to be able to learn how to go easy. And even amateurs don't know how to go easy. Even the total noobs don't know how to go easy. 50 watts. Can you climb at 50 watts? If you can't climb at 50 watts, how can you climb at 500 watts or 300 watts or 400 watts? If you can't climb at 20 watts, if you don't have the control over your pedaling style, if you can't do 20 watts, how can you do more? How can you really push it full gas? If you can't hold back in extreme, how can you hold on in extreme? So just think about that. So pros, They know how to hold the real pros. Like, I've ridden with Froome, I've ridden with Contador, Valverde, Stuart Grady, Cadell, Wiggins, Geraint Thomas, Egan Bernal. I've ridden with all those crew, and what I've learned is they all really understand what watts are, and they understand how to go really slowly. Especially Lance Armstrong. Lance was like, I'm going slow. I'm doing 100 watts, and I don't care what anyone says. I'm doing 100 watts up this hill. This is Lance Armstrong in 2009, Lance fucking Armstrong, right? So he's doing 100 watts up the hill, and I'm just like, wow, this is eye-opening. This is eye-opening. All right, this is Turn Down Under. We've got some more footage coming up. Give the video a like if you want to see more. Peace. Going back to pick up Natasha. Get some Dyson action going on.